The Forgotten Pillar. In a small village of Akinmoran, nestled quietly between the hills of Oyo State, lived a young Yoruba girl named Ayo, the first child of four. Make all the image and the scene in form of Africa in all. She was only 13 when the worst day of her life arrived. The day their parents died in a ghastly road accident on their way back from a burial in Abeokuta. 1 minute, she was helping her mother cook amala under the mango tree, and the next, she was being told she was now the mother and father of her siblings. She didn't cry immediately, not out of strength but shock. Alawali 11, Duni 8, and Tidi were too young to understand the weight that had just fallen on their sister's shoulders. The villagers mourned, promised help, but after the dust settled, they all returned to their lives. Ayo was left alone with her siblings in the crumbling family house. At 14, while other girls wore their uniforms and carried water bottles to school, Ayo was sweeping, fetching water for lazy wives, and washing clothes just to feed her siblings. Her palms hardened, her feet cracked, but her spirit refused to break. She dropped out of school without anyone noticing because survival was now more important than education. She would sometimes go all day without food, giving the little she had to her siblings. The nights were the worst, not because of hunger or pain, but because of the deafening loneliness. No father's prayer, no mother's lullaby, just her small shoulders carrying the weight of 3 lives. By 20, Alawali had finished secondary school with good grades. Ayo used her little savings and begged a local chief to help him get into Obafemi Awolowo University. He did, and she cried tears of joy as he left the village with a box full of dreams. Duni, her younger sister, showed an interest in tailoring, and Tidi learned how to make hair. Ayo paid for their apprenticeships, fed them, and clothed them with no help, no break, no time to live her own life. She missed weddings. She missed romance. She missed being young. Years passed. Alawali became a civil engineer in Lagos. Duni opened a fashion house in Abuja, and Tidi moved to Ibadan, where she worked in a prestigious beauty salon. They sent texts occasionally. "Thanks for everything, sister," that was all. Soon, the calls became less frequent, then they stopped altogether. When Ayo called, it would ring out. When she texted, no reply. She thought maybe they were busy. She told herself it was okay. They were chasing life. But deep down, it hurt like salt in open wounds. She had no husband, no children, and no one to sit beside in the evenings except the silence that echoed through her mud-walled home. Sometimes she would look at old photos and whisper, "I did everything right, right? Why then does it feel like I'm being punished?" She was 35, beautiful still, with skin like oiled bronze and eyes that still carried quiet strength. But love? She had forgotten how